Hey guys, this is Merlini with a video that will hopefully improve your Safelane carry play. And the topic of this one is Regen in the Safelane with the goal of staying alive, presented by yours truly, Merlini. So, I'm going to outline a very common situation for you. You are a carry in a contested Safelane. You constantly take damage either by trading hits, taking creeps at tower because supports are pulling, or harassment by the offlaner. What's the best way to keep your HP high? And keeping your HP high is really undervalued. You really have to keep your HP high all the time so you can do stuff. You can CS freely, you can harass the offlaner, you can push a tower without fear of dying, you can go to the jungle and do neutral creeps, you can contest runes. You should keep your HP high for many, many reasons. And I just outlined some of them for you, but keep your HP high so you don't die. Okay, so now that I'm done with that, pre-horn blowage, what should you be doing? You should be thinking about the situation and not standing there diddle-daddling, taking a minute to buy your items. Think about the situation, think about how the game is going to progress, use your game experience, use your knowledge, try and predict how the first 10 minutes of the game will go for you. And things to include: what will your supports be doing? If you're playing with a Chen and Enigma, they're going to be doing different stuff. Neither of those heroes need a pull, so you will unlikely be taking creep damage unless you have, some greedier supports that need levels, like Disruptor, let's say. He probably needs to pull, and he's probably going to take your creeps to do it. So that means you probably are going to be taking creeps under the tower. Sometimes they'll be playing very aggressively and zoning out the offlaner, and he won't even dare mess with you. And you probably can skimp out on a little bit of regen, one set instead of two, perhaps. What kind of damage will you be taking? If you're versus a Bat Rider who does 95% magic damage versus you, you should probably get a magic stick and regen instead of Ring of Protection, Stout Shield, and whatnot, because he just does so much magic damage. And heroes that do a lot of right click and will right click you a lot by physical mitigation. Might you get aggro triple laned upon? If you suspect that, you might definitely get 2 sets of regen and then probably get a Stout Shield and a magic stick like ASAP, if you think you're gonna get 3-on-3 in that lane. Can you access a side shop? If you wanted to go for a greedier build, maybe you only get like 1 set of regen, maybe you like skip out on the Stout until later. You can do different things if you can access a side shop, but if you can't, then probably buy your Stout Shield and base, buy a lot of regen, because you can't buy consumables in the side shop, and not regen consumables at least. And of course, what will you be doing? That's probably one of the most important things. Are you just going to be static farming? Are you going to be shifting into the jungle so that your supports can take the lane? Are you going to be pushing the tower? Hint, get a Basilius. Then you should think about what you will be doing and how that will affect your item choice. Next, item options. You should be all too familiar with the Tango, the Salve, the Stout Shield, and the Ring of Protection. These are your 4 main options for early game survivability. Of course, Bottle is kind of there too, but it's much more expensive and it's much more situational. So keep in mind the mid will be using the chicken a lot, and the only one that you can buy at the side shop is a Stout Shield. And keep it also in mind that the safe lane is the furthest away from the fountain, even though it is the safe lane. So that will make your courier travel time very, very long. Okay, hypotheticals. Hypothetical situation: you're a level 1 Lycan with 3 armor versus a level 1 Wind Ranger, 50 hero damage on average. Right click. So now that I set that up for you, I'm going to talk about item efficiency versus hero damage. So Wind Ranger average damage was 50, so against a Rapier Rushing Lycan with no items, it's going to be 42.4 damage after armor. And then I listed how much damage you'll be taking on average with each of these 4 items listed from cheapest ROP to most expensive Poor Man Shield. So as you can see, as you spend more gold, you take less damage. But how much mitigation are you getting per gold? Which one's the most efficient for the limited amount of gold that you have at the start? So I invented the stat called MPG, mitigation per gold times 1000. And these are the various MPGs for each of these 4 item sets. And the highest is going to be your Stout Shield at 35.6 mitigation per gold. Pretty good. ROP is the lowest at 27 mitigation per gold. Still pretty good. They don't vary that much. So golden standard as a Tango is 3680 health per gold times 1000. Health is roughly equal to mitigation for most intents and purposes. So ROP 136 hits. That's how many hits you need to get value out of the ROP. If you don't take 136 hits, you might as well have just gotten a Tango with that 200 gold, or however many Tangos that would buy you, because it'd be more efficient to do so. And for a Stout Shield, since it's more efficient, you need to tank less hits, only 100 hits, for it to be roughly equivalent to that amount of gold purchased on a Tango, which would be 8. So item efficiency versus creeps. Creeps hit less hard, so the damage block from Stout is going to be much higher than the percent damage block from, or percent damage mitigation from an ROP. So melee average creep damage versus a Rapier Rushing Lycan is 17.8. Keep in mind I didn't do the ranged creep. So equipped with a Ring of Protection, 15.4 mitigation, and as you spend more gold, you mitigate more damage. Exception being Pro Man Shield, because it's more effective versus heroes and creeps. So the MPG for these four is staggering difference. Only 12 for your ROP and 44.5 for the Stout Shield. Mega value. Almost 4 times as much mitigation per gold against creeps, but it's only 50 gold more. So that means that Stout Shield is OP and you should get it on almost every single melee hero. Your golden standard of Tango, again 3680 mitigation per gold. How many hits do you need to take for your gold to be worth it? ROP 300 hits. Not that many considering it's against creeps, but it's still a lot. Stout is only 80 hits. So there's 3 melee creeps and they attack once per second. So if you're tanking creeps for 25 seconds, it paid for itself. So theoretically, you could get value out of your Stout Shield in the first minute of the game, which is pretty incredible. And as the game goes longer and longer, you're getting more and more value out of your Stout Shield. Whereas Tango is only a flat amount of regen. So that is pretty darn good. And if you're taking neutrals, of course, too, you're going to take 80 hits. So Stout Shield is really good if you're a melee hero. So breaking it down, the general conclusions: if you're a ranged, Ring of Protection is better than Stout. Stout and ROP were like roughly pretty close against heroes as a melee hero, but as a ranged hero, ROP is almost always going to be better than a Stout Shield, unless you're going for a Crimson Guard. So if you're a melee, Stout Shield is way better than ROP. I was going to say Magnitude's better, but it's not Magnitude's better. It's just a few times better, but it's way better than ROP. But keep in mind that they have different uses. ROP also is useful versus some physical spells. It's also useful if you're pushing the tower, so you can build it in Bassi. It has different uses. Stout Shield is pretty much just for tanking creeps or some hero damage. So if you're not tanking many right clicks or you're tanking magic damage, go with the green stuff. Get the Tangos, get the Salve, because if the Wind Ranger switches it up and never right clicks you and just purely power shots you with 10 clarities in their inventory, your Stout Shield is going to be pretty darn useless. So keep that in mind, and always think about factors that may affect your MPG. Bristleback's Bristleback, PA's Blur, Spectre's Dispersion. These generally make the golden standard even better, and Tangos get more value because you take less damage. Or you may affect the golden standard. Dazzle Heal, Juggernaut Healing Ward, these are kind of like free heals that you don't have to spend gold on, and this makes mitigation even more important. So thank you guys for watching. Hope you took away something from this Staying Alive video. If you like my videos, please subscribe to me at youtube.com/MerliniDota. You can also follow me on Twitch and Twitter at MerliniDota. Thank you guys once again.